But this is not a hill, this is a pyramid. And it's not only a pyramid, but it's the largest pyramid on the planet Earth. It's not the tallest by height, but it's the largest by mass.
Deep beneath a quiet hill in Mexico, explorers found something that stunned the world. Hidden inside the Cholula Pyramid were ancient tunnels, strange paintings, and hundreds of human remains. What seemed like a peaceful mountain turned out to be a place of mystery, ritual, and fear. Join us as we uncover the truth behind this mystery. The hidden wonder of Cholula. In the Mexican city of Puebla rises a hill that hides a magnificent secret. Known as Tlachihualtepetl, which means man-made mountain, it conceals the Great Pyramid of Cholula, the largest pyramid by volume ever built. Time and nature have softened its shape, covering it with grass and trees. But beneath its calm surface lies one of the greatest wonders of the ancient world. The pyramid is not just a monument of stone. It is a symbol of faith, history, and mystery, shaped by countless generations. Unlike other grand temples built swiftly by powerful rulers, this pyramid grew slowly, one layer at a time, as new people came and added their touch. Every stage of its growth reflected the beliefs and dreams of the civilization that built it. Today, a small church crowns the hill, while deep underneath, the massive remains of the pyramid rest in silence, preserving the spirit of a forgotten world. The hidden secret of the hill was first suspected in the late 19th century. In the year 1881, Swiss-born explorer Adolf Bandelier studied the site and noticed strange remains scattered across the land. He believed there was something much larger buried below, a thought that would be proven true decades later. In 1930, archaeologists began digging into the mound, cutting tunnels deep into its heart. They built two main passages, one stretching north to south, the other east to west, and soon discovered walls, rooms, and ancient corridors buried beneath layers of earth. As they continued, the underground world expanded into a network of tunnels winding in every direction. By the 1950s, more than 8 kilometers of tunnels had been explored, exposing how the structure had been built one stage upon another. Using mining tools and rail lines to remove soil, the workers slowly revealed the mighty hidden pyramid. A new wave of exploration began in 1966 under the Cholula Project, focusing on the areas around the pyramid. Archaeologists uncovered courtyards, platforms, and ceremonial altars where ancient rituals once took place. They discovered where the rulers stood, where the people offered prayers, and where gifts to the gods were made. Each new layer told a chapter of the pyramid's story, a living record of devotion that evolved over centuries. The pyramid's construction went through at least 6 main phases. The earliest, known as Building A or La Conejera, was made of simple adobe bricks before foreign influences reached the region. Then came Building B, the Pyramid of the Painted Skulls, built between 200 and 350 AD. It had 7 levels, with sloping walls covered in colorful paintings that showed scenes of ritual life, echoing the grand styles of Teotihuacan. Next emerged Building C, called the Pyramid of the 9 Stories. This stage was vast and powerful, with wide stairways and sacred altars. It held bright murals and the Altar del Jaguar, a shrine dedicated to the symbol of power and protection. On the pyramid's southern side stretched the Courtyard of Altars, once a grand gathering place for ceremonies. Its platforms carried intricate carvings and patterns in vivid colors of red, blue, yellow, and black. The space buzzed with spiritual energy, where priests and leaders performed sacred rites before great crowds. Around it stood other structures that supported religious activities. Building I contained pottery and ancient burials, linking it to rituals involving skull symbols. Building D had walls covered with painted designs and narrow passageways connecting chambers. Finally came Building F, or Piedra Labrada, built between 500 and 700 AD. This stage was made of finely worked stone, forming stairways decorated with carved designs that looked like woven mats. Even today, faint shades of red and white still cling to its surface. Each layer, from the simple adobe beginnings to the richly carved upper courts, tells of a civilization that poured its heart into stone. Hidden beneath its green hill, the Great Pyramid of Cholula sleeps quietly, holding centuries of devotion, power, and wonder, a gentle reminder that even time cannot bury faith forever. But how has this mountain been intact after decades? How was it constructed? the eternal pyramid beneath the hill. The Great Pyramid of Cholula is far more than a hill covered in grass and soil. Beneath its quiet surface lies the heart of an ancient masterpiece, a structure born from the faith, skill, and patience of generations. What makes this pyramid so extraordinary is not only its enormous size, but the way it came into being. Unlike many great monuments built all at once, this one grew little by little across centuries. Each new generation added to the work of their ancestors, layer upon layer, turning it into something both powerful and sacred. It became a living creation, growing as the city and its people grew around it. Every layer tells a different story, marking changes in culture, art, and belief through time. Researchers have identified at least 5 major construction stages, each carefully designed with remarkable craftsmanship. On the outside, the pyramid's slopes are smooth and gentle, giving it a peaceful appearance. But deep within, it is held together by strong adobe bricks, stones, and compacted earth that form its sturdy frame. The builders of Cholula clearly understood how to make something that would endure. They created not just a temple, but a monument built to last for thousands of years. The layered design did more than give the structure strength, it gave it life. Each new addition was like a renewal of faith, symbolizing the community's spiritual growth. To the people of Cholula, their pyramid was not a dead monument of stone. It was a sacred being that connected them with their gods and ancestors. It stood as both a spiritual heart and a symbol of unity. Hidden within this enormous structure lies another wonder, a world of tunnels and chambers that stretch for more than 8 kilometers beneath the surface. These passages twist and turn like veins, leading to secret rooms where rituals and ceremonies may once have taken place. Inside, the silence feels ancient, as though the air still carries whispers of prayers and the rhythm of drums. Every wall was shaped with care and skill, showing how much thought went into every detail. The builders were not just workers, they were visionaries who understood balance, design, and sacred purpose. The materials used in the pyramid's construction show how advanced the builders were. They relied mainly on adobe, bricks made from mud dried under the sun, because it was strong yet light. Stone was used for the main stairways, platforms, and ceremonial centers to provide extra stability. Beneath it all, layers of compacted soil created a firm base that could bear the pyramid's great weight. This clever mix of materials gave the structure both flexibility and strength, allowing it to survive earthquakes, rain, and erosion over more than 2,000 years. The ancient engineers even thought about water flow. They planned systems that helped drain rainwater, preventing the pyramid's base from washing away. Because of this careful design, the monument has stood through centuries of storms and natural change without collapsing. What was once built as a sacred temple has also become one of history's most enduring feats of architecture. Compared with other great pyramids across ancient Mexico, the Pyramid of Cholula stands apart. The temples of Teotihuacan and Tenochtitlan were built in fewer stages, rising swiftly under the rule of powerful kings. Cholula's pyramid, however, grew slowly, reflecting the steady rhythm of life itself. Each stage was a new chapter in its story, marking a new age of devotion and creativity. Its wide base and gentle slopes make it different from the sharp peaks of other pyramids. From afar, it looks like a simple hill, blending naturally with the land around it. But beneath that calm disguise rests the largest pyramid ever built by human hands. Its vastness, hidden beauty, and quiet power make it one of the most mysterious creations of the ancient world. The pyramid's design reflects both intelligence and deep spirituality. The people who built it saw construction not as a single task, but as a journey, one that joined the living with the divine. Each generation that worked on it honored the past while shaping the future, leaving behind more than just walls and stairs. They built their beliefs into every layer. Inside the pyramid, every passage, platform, and altar had purpose. The rooms were not random. They were made for rituals, offerings, and sacred gatherings. The tunnels served as paths for priests and worshippers, leading them through the heart of their sacred mountain. Every detail was deliberate. Every color, every carving, every step spoke of faith and devotion. However, the most fascinating part of this discovery wasn't the mountain itself, but what lay hidden inside it. Whispers beneath the sacred hill. From a distance, the Great Pyramid of Cholula seems calm and ordinary, a grassy hill crowned by a small church that watches over the city of Puebla. But beneath that gentle rise lies one of the world's greatest hidden treasures. What looks like a quiet mound is the largest and one of the oldest pyramids ever created by human hands. For centuries, it rested beneath layers of earth, its secrets waiting to be uncovered. When archaeologists finally began to dig into its depths, they discovered pieces of history that reshaped the story of Cholula and the people who built it. The work began slowly at the base of the hill, where teams carefully removed layers of hardened soil and stone. As they dug deeper, something extraordinary appeared: the pyramid's original heart. This was the adobe core, created during the 5th stage of construction between the 1st and 6th centuries after Christ. The find left the researchers amazed. Each brick of this core had been molded from sun-dried mud mixed with straw, shaped with bare hands, and placed with patience. Despite the passage of centuries, these bricks had survived rain, heat, and shifting ground. The core was not only the structure's foundation, it was the very soul of the ancient city that once thrived here. Images taken from the excavation show this core in incredible detail. Long walls of compacted mud stretch through the ground, their surfaces cracked yet still solid. The soft brown color of the adobe stands out against the stone around it, almost like living skin protecting an ancient heart. These photographs let modern viewers see the skill and care that went into every inch of the work. The builders' marks are still visible, silent traces of lives that shaped history with their hands. As the excavation continued, the ground began to reveal even more of its stories. Near the pyramid's stairways, archaeologists found clusters of small clay vessels known as braziers. These pre-Hispanic artifacts once held fire and offerings during sacred ceremonies. Some still contained ashes darkened by ancient flames. The sight of them brought to life images of rituals once held there, fires glowing through the night, prayers rising in the smoke, and people climbing the stairs in devotion. To the ancient Cholulans, each step upward was not simply a climb, but a journey toward the divine. Photographs of the site show rows of these braziers positioned near blackened patches of earth, their cracked surfaces still bearing signs of repeated burning. Even without sound, these remains seem to hum with energy, as if the voices of priests and worshippers still echo through the air. This was not just a structure of stone and clay, it was a sacred place filled with song, faith, and purpose. Among the most striking discoveries was a sculpture of Tlaloc, the god of rain and fertility. Carved from pale stone, the figure carried Tlaloc's powerful features, large eyes and an open mouth that once seemed to call out to the heavens. For the people of Cholula, water was life itself. It brought crops, nourished the land, and sustained the community. The presence of Tlaloc's image proved that rituals for rain were performed here, where priests prayed for storms to bless their fields. Modern photos of the statue show it resting inside a preservation lab. Though its edges are worn and parts of it covered in dirt and moss, its design remains clear and strong. It still holds the same spirit it once did thousands of years ago, a plea to the skies, frozen in stone. It is more than an artifact. It is a reflection of the hopes and fears of a people who depended on nature's balance for survival. Each item uncovered, from the simple clay braziers to the massive adobe walls, reveals how deeply faith shaped the lives of Cholula's people. They built not just for shelter or beauty, but for connection. Their world was tied to the elements around them: fire, earth, and rain. The Great Pyramid was their sacred bridge between humans and gods, a place where every flame, every offering, and every carved figure spoke the same message: that devotion could endure even as centuries passed. Beneath its calm hill, the Great Pyramid of Cholula still breathes with that same ancient spirit, a living heart preserved by time. But what was the truth behind the tomb that was found? Were these remains part of human sacrifices, or something even darker? The silent tombs beneath Cholula. The deeper the archaeologists dug beneath the Great Pyramid of Cholula, the more haunting its secrets became. What began as a study of art and devotion soon turned into a discovery that chilled even the most seasoned researchers. Hidden within the pyramid's heart were hundreds of burials, more than 400 human remains resting in silence, telling a story of faith, sacrifice, and sorrow. Each skeleton was a quiet reminder of lives once lived, of rituals that bound the people of Cholula to their gods. The uncovered chambers revealed rows of bones curled beneath stone slabs, some carefully placed, others scattered among fragments of pottery and ash. Most of these burials dated back to the post-classic era, long after the pyramid had ceased to function as a temple. Yet even centuries later, people still came here to honor their dead. To them, the pyramid was not merely an old monument, it was sacred ground, a bridge between the living and the divine. Amid the many graves, clear signs of human sacrifice were found. Some skeletons bore marks of decapitation, others showed traces of deliberate wounds. These were not acts of cruelty, but expressions of deep spiritual belief. The people of Cholula offered life to the gods in exchange for rain, protection, or healing. In their world, such sacrifices were not seen as tragedy, but as sacred duty. Through them, they believed balance between heaven and earth could be restored. One of the most emotional discoveries came from the courtyard of altars. Beneath its smooth stone floors, archaeologists uncovered ceramic pots containing the remains of 8 people, several of them children. The pots were simple, made from plain clay, with faded red markings still visible on their rims. Inside, tiny bones rested in a fetal position, as though the children were asleep. These offerings were likely made to Tlaloc, the god of rain, as pleas for mercy during times of drought. The pots were not randomly placed. Each was positioned with care, forming a deliberate pattern beneath the ground, as if creating a circle of prayer. The sight of those fragile vessels stirs deep emotion. It speaks of parents and priests desperate to save their crops and families, offering what they held most precious in return for life-giving rain. Beneath the quiet soil, their faith still lingers, carried through centuries by the echoes of their devotion. Further excavation led to another startling find in the pyramid's southwest corner, a mass burial containing the remains of at least 46 people. The bones belonging to men, women, and children were disjointed and mixed with broken pottery, pigments, and tools. This mixture suggested that the site was used repeatedly for ceremonies where the community came together to face death as part of divine ritual. Images from this area capture an eerie stillness. Bones half buried in dark soil, surrounded by fragments of ancient life. The ground here carries the weight of countless offerings, its color darkened by time and ritual fires. Each object, each fragment, tells of moments when the people of Cholula gathered in hope and reverence, believing their prayers would rise from the earth to the heavens. These findings revealed that the Great Pyramid was not only a temple, but also a vast sacred cemetery, a place where worship and mourning became one. Even long after its golden age, people continued to return, bringing offerings, burying their loved ones, and seeking protection within its sacred walls. For them, the pyramid was alive, its spirit eternal. Beneath its quiet slopes, it held not just the bones of the dead, but the heartbeat of an ancient faith that refused to fade away. Now, let's take a look at one of the darkest places archaeologists tried to keep hidden from the world. Secrets beneath the Hill of Gods. Around the Great Pyramid of Cholula, every stone seems to whisper a memory from another age. These ruins are more than fragments of the past. They are sacred footprints left by generations who poured their faith into every courtyard and altar. On the southern side lies one of the most mesmerizing spaces ever uncovered, the Courtyard of Altars, a place where the divine and human once met. The courtyard stretches at the base of the pyramid, with the massive mound rising behind it like a guardian of silence. To the east and west stand 2 great platforms, the Patio Sureste and the Gran Plaza Suroeste, facing the pyramid as if in endless reverence. Between these platforms unfolds a wide-open floor, the stage where devotion once came alive. Here, the rulers, priests, and common people gathered for grand ceremonies that blended worship, song, and ritual. From both sides, stairways lead upward to the central altars. Each step once echoed with chants, the beating of drums, and the soft sound of wind through burning incense. The sloped walls, known as taludes, were carefully designed with T-shaped decorations, a hallmark of ancient artistry. Though similar styles appeared in other cities, Cholula's version carried its elegant touch. The flat surfaces, called tableros, were alive with painted designs, fish, waves, shells, and bright ribbons of color. Shades of red, blue, yellow, and black told stories of water, rain, and renewal. Every mural was a prayer to the skies, asking nature to bless the land once more. The courtyard of altars was not a place of stillness, but of movement. Worshippers walked in circles, climbing steps and offering gifts, while priests performed rituals that joined heaven and earth. In the Gran Plaza Suroeste, 4 rooms built around a patio revealed something extraordinary: a miniature model of a pyramid, a small reflection of the grand one nearby. This tiny replica may have symbolized the universe itself, reminding everyone that the world above and the one below were forever connected. Worship in Cholula was personal and alive. People did not stand far from the sacred. They became part of it, breathing and believing under the open sky. Beneath this surface beauty lay another kind of wonder: the murals that once covered the inner walls. Inside the pyramid's chambers, faint traces of color still cling to the stone, whispering of a time when the walls danced with life. In one structure, known as Building B, painters filled every inch with images of priests, skulls, and ceremonies. They worked over polished plaster, blending hues of red, white, ochre, and black into scenes of joy and power. One mural showed a celebration of a god linked to drink and festivity, with over 100 figures gathered in honor. Others depicted birds, butterflies, and streams of water flowing between human forms, a harmony of earth and spirit. Even later constructions carried this devotion forward. In Building F, where walls were made of stone instead of plaster, the colors have faded, but carved figures remain: skulls, spirals, and woven symbols that tell their quiet story. Time has softened the pigment, yet the craftsmanship still breathes through every groove. Nearby, Building D holds smaller rooms, narrow corridors, and tiny painted niches. These may have been private areas for priests or places where sacred tools were kept. Some believe offerings were made here in silence, away from the crowds above. The surviving fragments of paint in these chambers repeat the same spiritual patterns found in the grand murals, proving that even the smallest corner was touched by purpose. To the southwest stands Building 1, a structure directly linked to the pyramid. Excavations uncovered 3 burials here, each accompanied by ritual ceramics. The pottery designs were similar to those found near skull altars, suggesting that even after the site began to fade, the people still returned to honor their dead. This space bridged the worlds of the living and the departed, a reminder that to the ancient Cholulans, death was not an end, but a continuation. Deep inside the pyramid, tunnels twist and turn like veins through a body of stone. Some follow the old construction lines, while others slice through newer layers. These passages led archaeologists to hidden chambers, forgotten murals, and layers of ancient architecture. Piece by piece, they trace the story of how the pyramid grew, each generation adding to it, reshaping it, and leaving behind its faith in solid form. At its peak, the Great Pyramid of Cholula was an immense creation. Its base measured roughly 300 meters by 315 meters, and its height reached about 25 meters. Though shorter than Egypt's Great Pyramid, its mass was greater, holding over 4 million cubic meters of material. The base alone covered almost 95,000 square meters, nearly twice the size of Giza's. From afar today, it looks like a gentle green hill with a golden church on top, the Iglesia de Nuestra Señora de los Remedios, built in the year 1594. That church transformed the ancient pyramid into a Christian sanctuary, leaving the layers beneath forever buried. Beneath that calm surface lies a masterpiece made of 6 stacked structures, each one built upon the last, each carrying the hopes of a new generation. Only half of them have been fully explored, revealing deep connections to the art and style of Teotihuacan and the unique identity of Cholula. Across its many layers, burials have been unearthed, skeletons laid beside ceramics, figurines, tools, and even musical instruments. Among the most striking finds was a bone scepter carved with symbols of both life and death, showing how deeply the people understood the fragile balance of existence. Farther northeast, another marvel stands, the Northeast Plaza, first uncovered in the 1930s. There, 3 smaller pyramids rise from the ground, worn by time but still proud. Their bases once shone with black square patterns, echoing the famous niches of El Tajín. These similarities suggest a shared thread of belief and artistry connecting the ancient cities of Mesoamerica. Every mural, altar, and stairway tells a part of the same story of devotion, rebirth, and connection. But what do all these symbolize, and why are they important? The Sacred Heart of Cholula. The Great Pyramid of Cholula is far more than a massive mound of clay and stone. It is the soul of an ancient city. For centuries, it has stood as a symbol of devotion and unity, a sacred bridge between the world of humans and the realm of the gods. Every layer of its vast structure carries a piece of history, telling stories of faith, art, and cosmic wonder that still touch hearts today. This magnificent pyramid was never built just to impress the eye. It was a living stage for rituals, celebrations, and offerings. People gathered here to seek blessings from their gods, pray for rain, and mark the movement of the stars. The builders understood the patterns of the sky with astonishing precision, aligning the pyramid with celestial events so that the heavens and the earth seemed to move together. It was a place where daily life was shaped by the rhythms of the universe, and every ceremony felt like a conversation with the divine. Inside, traces of artistry and imagination reveal the heart of the civilization that built it. Archaeologists have uncovered murals and ceramics that bring the ancient world to life. The colorful paintings portray gods, symbols of creation, and moments from everyday life, blending the sacred with the ordinary. These are not just decorations. They are windows into the minds and beliefs of the people of Cholula. The pottery and artifacts found there show how deeply they honored both their deities and their community, expressing gratitude through beauty. In every brushstroke and carving lies a story of faith and creativity, proving that art and worship were one and the same. Burials discovered within the pyramid uncover even more about this society's soul. More than 400 human remains have been found, ranging from children buried in pots to adults offered in ritual sacrifice. These findings reveal that the pyramid was both a temple and a tomb, a place to honor life, death, and the divine. Each burial tells of a structured society where belief and hierarchy were intertwined. The offerings left with the dead reflect reverence and hope, showing that even in death, people sought connection with their gods. The builders' understanding of the sky was extraordinary. The pyramid's precise alignment with the sun, moon, and stars shows that it was designed not only as a monument, but as a calendar written in stone. Each ritual likely followed the movement of celestial bodies, creating harmony between time, nature, and faith. This cosmic link turned the pyramid into a sacred bridge between earth and heaven, where every ceremony became a reflection of the stars above. Even in modern times, the pyramid remains a living part of Cholula's soul. It continues to attract thousands who come to celebrate, pray, and remember. Before the arrival of the Spanish, the site was dedicated to the goddess of rain. When Christianity spread, her worship transformed into devotion to the Virgin of the Remedies. Every year, on the 8th of September, the city comes alive with lights, music, and joy as people honor her memory, carrying lanterns through the streets in a dazzling night of faith. Another beloved event is the Bajada in May and June, when the image of the Virgin is taken down the pyramid to visit neighborhoods for 2 weeks, symbolizing unity and blessing. These celebrations show how ancient and modern devotion continued to blend beautifully. On the spring equinox, the Quetzalcoatl ritual revives indigenous traditions with music, dance, and fireworks, drawing crowds from around the world. Today, the pyramid is both a sacred site and a treasured tourist attraction. Visitors wander through its tunnels, explore the museum, and marvel at the structure's layers that tell centuries of history. To protect this fragile wonder, authorities restrict fireworks, monitor access, and patrol the area on horseback, ensuring the ancient site remains safe. The Great Pyramid of Cholula still breathes with life. Its stones whisper stories of gods and people, art and faith, the heavens and the earth. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.